This video is to review field properties with complex numbers. So our first example that we're going to take a look at here says, which of the following steps is an example of the associative property of addition with complex numbers? And the associative property is the associative property no matter we're talking about complex numbers or regular numbers. So as we look through the steps here, going from the first thing that you're given and looking at step 1, what's happening here is you're distributing that 4. So that's what you would say is happening here with step 1, is that that's the distributive property. And then going from step 1 to step 2, what's happening is you're changing the order of things. You're putting negative 20 and then the positive 3i are changing places. So that's the commutative property, is when you change order. And then going from step 2 to step 3, you're putting things in parentheses. So that's the associative property. And that's the one that we're looking for. So we know that that's the correct answer. But just to make sure that we know what's going on here, going from step 3 to step 4, they're subtracting 3i minus 8i. So that's the subtraction property, just in case you would be asked about that. So we're going to do one more example here with properties, and that's this question here. Which of the following expressions correctly illustrates the inverse property of multiplication? So the inverse property of multiplication means you're going to multiply two things together and the end result is going to give you 1. You're multiplying two things together, inverses, and you're going to get 1. So as you look through all of these choices, obviously the correct answer here would be D. But I also want to identify which properties are being used in choice A, B, and C. So as you look at choice A, what's happening here is that negative 2 is being distributed through the parentheses. So this is the distributive property. In choice B, it's no real property that we have. They're multiplying by 1. So it's being, they're multiplying by the conjugate to get, to rationalize the denominator. So we don't really have a property name for that, but that's what's going on there. And then in answer choice C, what's happening is that we're changing what is in the parentheses. So that's the associative property. So just in case you'd be asked about any of those. If you have any questions about properties, please see your math teacher.